The Color Purple is hot. The movie is selling lots of tickets. It got the most Oscar nominations. Even the book by Alice Walker is a bestseller again.
Wow. All of us are like, oh. You almost don't want it to stop. No. Let's watch it again.
The Color Purple is one of those movies people seem to be talking about everywhere.
Okay, everybody. So I'm here with the women of The Color Purple, and we're getting ready to shoot a cover for Essence Magazine. Hey.
And as Harold Dow reports, it's a movie that some people are getting upset about.
We got a lot of shit from people. We got a lot of shit from a lot of folks at the NAACP.
The Color Purple was picketed by black men and women when it opened in Los Angeles.
And how dare she write this book about black men, and who does she think she, I mean, it was like a whole thing. Nothing but black people in the movie. No, there's maybe 3 white people.
And there have been informal boycotts in other cities as well.
I was really pissed off. I thought, well, why didn't you make the movie? John, Spike.
We're concerned with how the black family is depicted in this film.
They promoted a world where all black men were oppressive and abusive and were inherently racist, rapists, excuse me. And, you know, and black women just had to navigate this world as innocent little ducklings.
Not since Alex Haley's Roots has a story about black people generated such universal interest. And because of the way the movie depicts black men, it has become the focus of a growing controversy.
When you look at historical processes of genocide, low-level conflict, or even racial conflicts throughout the world, throughout the 19th and 20th century, what you find are caricatures of racialized men.
Seeley, give me some lemonade.
You see this in the Holocaust with Nazis propaganda. It was Jewish men who were thought to be devils and animals and beasts. You find very few, hardly any references to women or have women depicted in that way.
It's a story about incest, rape, homosexuality, and the physical and psychological abuse of black women by black men.
You see the same thing during 19th century ethnology, because ethnology was a study of the organization and hierarchy of races based on the status of their men. You see all kinds of caricatures and writings about black men as demons, animals, beasts, snakes, etc.
No need to think I'm gonna let my boy marry you just cause you in the family way. Ain't cold enough.
As a representation of the lowly nature and the evilness that the black race held. So given that, black men then epitomize in our modern day this process of racial caricaturization that legitimated violence, genocidal violence at some times, and really do mark the process of dehumanization.
Color Purple is sold out. The next show is 9:15.
The movie, The Color Purple, is one of the biggest box office hits of the year.
Which then got us nominated. We got us nominated for 12 Oscars, 12 Oscar nominations.
The Color Purple is not an attack upon black men. It is a challenge to the entire black nation.
In Alice Walker's head, it's 1909, and her ancestors are fighting to recover their dignity from centuries of slavery, poverty, and abuse.
Critics of the movie say scenes like this reinforce negative stereotypes about blacks. Here, Mr. brings his mistress home to be cared for by his wife.
But seeing it on the screen was a whole different level of it, given the veneer of historical accuracy, given the veneer of this legacy of oppressive black men.
A lot of the things in The Color Purple happened to people in my family long before I was born.
The core idea around The Color Purple.
My grandmother was murdered by a man who wanted to be her lover. It really influenced my imagination.
Is to put forth this notion that black women went through a special slavery after slavery, that black men ran, controlled, and exploited them for their own advancement. This is the core idea of The Color Purple.
It's not autobiographical in the sense that I knew hardly anybody. I listened to people tell stories about the family.
It's a special slavery for black women. And in order to do that, it creates a boogeyman in the black patriarchy.
So today we see this with black men in terms of the threat they pose to women and children in their own group. We always look to really decontextualize statistics of domestic violence in the Black community, or homicides, talk about how violent Black men are, and by effect, how causally violent Black masculinity is.
Many whites feel that Black people are more violent, more sexually promiscuous. These are stereotypes that they hold of the Black community.
Dr. Alvin Poussant is a professor of psychiatry at Harvard University and is also an advisor for the Bill Cosby television show.
All of this is based not on the fact that we're actually observing sociological phenomena, but we're using decadent racist theories which hold that Black men have lower IQs than their white counterparts and their female counterpart to explain why we think they turn to a culture and practice of deviance.
Poussant understands why Black men react negatively to the color purple.
And we've not seen an era where this so-called Black patriarch exists. Hell, even Mr., played by Danny Glover, was a fabrication.
They know that they get more than their share of negative imagery in movies, on TV, that they're portrayed in some way as losers, brutal, buffoons.
Hypersexuality, hypermasculinity, these ideas that Black men are not balanced, they're not mature, they're not developed, that they're always in some excess, be it predatory or be it savage and primitive, that explains why they have such a lowly position in terms of criminality, deviance, and downward mobility compared to their female counterpart in whites.
We're telling stories, and we're not trying to establish social policy or take a public position. All we're trying to do is entertain people.
Because these kind of projects come with career advancement, they come with status, they come with resources, money, jobs, titles, grants, policy.
The Color Purple is soon published and over 5 million copies sold. And to her surprise, Alice's work is honored with the Pulitzer Prize, the first African-American woman ever to receive this prestigious award.
In the movie industry, controversy is good for business. In less than 2 months, The Color Purple has generated more than $40 million. It has been nominated for 11 Academy Awards, including Best Picture.
It's one woman's story. It was not meant to be the history of every Black man or woman in this country. And I wish people would just shut up about it.
And to see it revisited with such verve, with such excitement, speaks to the celebration of the moment where this independent idea is linked to the degradation of Black males, the ascendancy of Black females without men.
You almost don't want it to stop. No. Let's watch it again.
You're right. Do you think a young generation of men who are 3 generations exhausted with this bullshit are going to try to prove a lie wrong again? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think you have an exhaustion that I've never seen before. It's not just about men who want to divest or go find women of a different race in another part of the world. That's not it. It's not limited to that. That's actually just a percentage. You have men that are thoroughly exhausted because even when they break every stereotype, even when they place themselves in the top 5%,
Sealy, give me some lemonade. Ain't cold enough.
How much of the image of Black men moves the needle?